Dumelang Ngapsheni, Ralocha Sanwanani, Mulueni. My name is Naledi Mfoloe, and it is my absolute pleasure to welcome you to the latest edition of the African Diaspora News channel, where we unravel the stories that shape our world and our communities. Now, today we turn our attention to Nigeria, where protests have actually erupted once again as citizens voice their frustration over severe economic hardships. Now, this is a critical moment for a nation grappling with increasing costs and what many are calling bad governance. Now, just days ago in the capital of Abuja, demonstrators gathered despite a heavy police presence. It's absolutely heart-wrenching to see citizens, especially the youth, taking to the streets under such dire situations. I mean, the economic situation has actually become unbearable for many, with inflation causing the prices of basic goods to actually skyrocket. Let's have a look.
But a cry for justice.
Wake up, Nigerians! Say no to bad government!
And these cries are echoing beyond Nigeria's borders. From Kenya to Uganda, similar frustrations over the cost of living are being voiced, leading some analysts to suggest that an African spring might erupt. But others caution that while there may be parallels, the connections are tenuous, and the full story of this unrest is more complex. The stakes are high. The voices.
Now, as Joan Sanyoli, leader of the Take It Back movement, pointed out, the government seems to be disconnected from the reality faced by ordinary Nigerians. I mean, the removal of fuel subsidy and the unification of the foreign exchange markets have actually only worsened the situation, leading to a more dramatic depreciation of the naira. The common people are suffering, and that's the unfortunate part. While the government officials appear to actually live a different world entirely. And it's alarming to witness the police resorting to tear gas to disperse crowds. I mean, this raises significant concerns about the right to peaceful protest in Nigeria. I mean, we must ask ourselves, how can a government that claims to represent its people respond with such brutality? History has actually shown us that this is not a new tactic. It feels like we are actually witnessing a cycle of oppression rather than progress. And economically, Nigeria is at a critical juncture with almost 26 million people facing food insecurity as reported by the World Food Programme. We must question the effectiveness of the current government's policies. Higher wages have actually been promised, but matched against the rising cost of living, it honestly feels more like a band-aid rather than a solution. And as an African reporter myself, it absolutely pains me to see our brothers and sisters struggle under such conditions. I mean, we must stand in solidarity with those demanding accountability and change. Protests like these are not merely acts of defiance. They are cries for justice and dignity. Now, as we watch the situation unfold in Nigeria, let's remember the power of our voices.
10 days, the protests were scheduled for 10 days. What would you say worked and didn't work?
Yeah, so basically democracy worked because there was a lot of threats for almost 3 weeks to Nigerians, and Nigerians cannot protest. Nigerians must not protest. Nigerians must not come out to protest. The military threatened people. The police threatened people. They even went as far as getting court orders to restrict protesters to specific venues across the country, which is completely unacceptable in any democracy. The government threatened people that people should not protest. People cannot protest. They even planned bombs at some locations and said it was...
But they said it was extremists.
Extremists that planted the bombs just to dissuade protesters. They didn't want the protest to hold because according to them, they believe that if the protest hold, many Nigerians will key into the protest and the country will be liberated from suffering and oppression. And ironically, the protest was about ending bad governance. So I don't understand why government has an issue with an end bad governance protest, except if government wants bad governance to continue, or supporters of government. The protest also, we witnessed a situation where a lot of protesters were attacked by the security agencies, the army and the police. Many protesters were killed in Borno, in Kaduna, here in Abuja.
Security forces say they only use tear gas and not live ammunition.
There is ample evidence, video evidence, and physical evidence to suggest that protesters were killed by the police and the army in this protest. Here in Abuja was not an exception. In Azar, even a minor was killed. Here in Abuja, a minor was killed. In Kaduna, protesters were killed. In Kano, protesters were killed.
If we remain silent, we are complicit in the suffering of others. And change is possible, but it requires courage from both the people and their leaders. Now let's continue to follow this story closely and support the movements fighting for a better future. Now we want to hear from you. What are your thoughts in regards to this? Please, let's engage in the comment section. Let's keep the conversation going. And also, while you're at it, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. That's it from me. Till we meet again, it is goodbye for now.
Introducing the African Diaspora News Channel app, your gateway to stories that's overlooked by the corporate mainstream media.
And we serve as the voice to the global Black community.
Again, we got Dr. Candace Matthews.
A lot of these documents, looking at.
We are committed to informing and educating through the power of media.
This country is supposed to be about the land of the free for all. It has not been free for Black people, and we are tired.
With our platform, we're helping to end injustice by exposing it.
Join us in standing for excellence in journalism and serving our community. Download the African Diaspora News app today.